Do you want to learn the ins and outs of Sonic Temple from a first timer?
Stay tuned for more.
Now, if you're younger and you just want to wear 2 Band-Aids, it's totally acceptable at Sonic Temple. We actually saw some people walk around nude.
So as you're coming up from the shuttles and coming the entrances, obviously VIP has their own entrance. They really didn't check bags the first 3 days, honestly. I mean, they started really checking bags probably the 3rd day. They were just waving people through.
Yeah.
I wouldn't suggest that you try to bring anything in, but they were touting that, hey, bags had to be specific. You couldn't take this much in, and they would be searched. But because we were totally expecting to have stuff searched.
I think the only reason why on the one day I did get finally searched is because we had rolled up the flannels and shoved them in that bag. So they thought maybe we had rolled some stuff up in our flannels and put it in the bag.
Next section, VIP area. It was not bad, but it could be improved. And again, this is our first time. We really don't have anything to go on. This is, again, just thoughts from our perspective as a first timer. It may have been improved as the days went on. You couldn't walk. There were lines for the VIP bathrooms. I mean,
That was wild.
You're supposed to have bathrooms. That's why you pay VIP, so you have bathrooms, so you don't have to fight with people to, get into the bathroom. And they were the typical trailer bathrooms. They're tiny. They're not very big. There's not a lot of space. There's a picture of me standing up because I was sitting down to take a dump, and next thing you know, shit's wet. So water's, I don't know if it's water or piss or whatever, but the way the trailer was leaning, it was all going to that stall. Pretty nasty.
The best bathrooms were in the stadium.
Yeah, there was hardly any wait for the bathrooms in the stadium. Now, obviously, they had the portalets outside, and they had plenty of places to go to bathroom. That was a plus. But if you enjoy not going in a portalet, they had all the bathrooms in the stadium, which weren't as packed. The VIP lounge always seemed packed, and people were in there. I mean, they have the TVs in there, and they have the ottomans and the couches and the tables and plenty of bar spot. It really wasn't that hard to get a drink. A little hard to hear because they do have the music cranked up in there. It was so hot. Again, like I said, it was hot during the day and cold at night on some of those nights. People were in there because it's air conditioning, and people were in there just laying on the ottomans and not moving.
All day.
All day.
Stay in there.
People taking up seats all day. You're there sitting down, relaxing, and we're trying to find a spot to eat our food. And it's like, be a little respectful. So yeah, it always seemed packed unless you caught it at the right time. In some of the lounging areas, on the one side, right as you come in the VIP, you pretty much had a complete view of the cathedral stage. There was 4 different stages, and you could see the cathedral. You could actually hear it too, pretty well. Wasn't like you couldn't. It had been outside of the VIP lounge was another lounging area that always seemed to have people sitting in the chairs and tables. And again,
Trying to catch some shade.
you're trying, number 1, shade, and number 2, just trying to find a place to sit your stuff down to eat. But it'd be nice to have some of those TVs and speakers outside to see the events. They was always showing at least one of the concert stages on the big screen in the VIP lounge. They had a certain section of food over by the VIP lockers. VIP has their own lockers, they have their own bathrooms, they have their own food area, they have their own lounge. It was all nice, but we got some food from some of the other food booths out in the general area, and honestly,
Better food.
We thought the food was better out
Yeah.
there. Some of the stuff in the VIP were still cold from being under a heat lamp, while the other stuff was fairly fresh and seemed like to us better choices out in the general area.
Yeah, I agree with that. I learned very late in the game that the stadium sold refillable cups, and it was $8 to purchase the cup and you got your drink, and then to refill the cup it was $4. And inside VIP and everywhere else we were paying $5 for a 12-ounce can, and you got more in the cup. But you had to go in the stadium to get that. The other thing was if I would have known about the fresh lemonade a lot sooner, and that you could get a bucket, because they were only refilling the buckets, they weren't refilling the cups, to refill a bucket, and it was delicious fresh squeezed lemonade.
Yeah,
and
that
it was
lemonade
so
was
refreshing.
the shit. It was very good.
So they would not refill the cups, and then they sold out of the buckets, and so you couldn't get a refill. You just had to purchase the cups over and over again, and we just don't need all them things. So, but I did figure that out late in the game, and after that we started getting it. But that would have saved us some money at the event too, because we purchased a lot of drinks.
I mean, they've got you. I mean, you're there for 4 days, and you're there all day long. That means if I'm sure you eat breakfast before you go, but they got you. They got you for lunch and dinner, and you're going to pay a fee, and we're going to talk about that later. But the next area is the stadium. There's not a bad seat in the stadium to watch the concert. I mean, they have the big screens, and you can see the first night we watched Metallica from the very back, and it wasn't bad. I mean, of course,
it was up high.
Now the acoustics are going to be different. The night it was windy, and like some of the videos, you can actually hear the acoustics like coming in waves in my videos because of the wind and us being far back. As you know, the acoustics are always different depending on where you're sitting in. But it wasn't horrible. Let me rephrase that. It wasn't horrible, but yeah, not a bad seat in the house, even from the side all the way up to the top. The left side, if you're facing the stage, the left side of the stadium was always packed because that had the most shade. The sun was hitting the right side for all day long. So the left side was always packed. If you don't mind sitting in the sun, you'll probably get a better seat in the stadium on the right side.
So let me speak a little bit about the stadium, and one thing that really because I thought it was a dick move, but people would go in at the very beginning of the morning. Let's say you brought your mom, and you brought your 2 older children there, and these people would come into the stadium and sprawl out where their spots were and put blankets down and all the stuff, and somebody would stay there and save seats the entire day. So if you wanted to come in and get a good seat for something that you really wanted to see, you couldn't, because mom or friend or whoever who didn't care to go see the rest of the bands was saving the seats for everyone else. And it really ticked me off. Like, I wanted to move people's shit, but he wouldn't let me.
No, I mean, it happens, everything. Look at the EBN fireworks. They're there a day before putting tarps out where they want to sit. Unless they specifically said in the thing, no reserving seats, period.
But the thing about it is, I thought that when we purchased VIP tickets, there was supposed to be section that was dedicated to VIP people, and that is not the case.
No. So you pretty much could sit anywhere in the stadium. And again, it was nice having the field and in the stadium seats, because once you got tired of standing on your feet all day, and there is a lot of walking, which brings me to the next point for the stadium. Even though you could see the concerts on the big screen, one of the downfalls was, and it was talked about online very much, was the overlapping of the really good groups. If you wanted to go get a seat for the next performance at the stadium, sometimes you could still see the group you wanted to see on the other stage from the stadium. Now, obviously, you're not there, it's not live, and so on and so forth, but you could still try to, versus sitting in the seat trying to save it, you could at least get there a little early and still watch what you wanted to watch if they were showing it on the big screen.
I really thought we were sacrificing some of all the bands we wanted to see. We were sacrificing a portion of it to go see something else, or to go get a seat early for something else we wanted to see too. And that kind of really just stank.
Yeah, we tried to get, beforehand we made a list out of who we wanted to see. We looked at the schedule. Well, we're going to miss this one because we want to go see this one more than we want to see that one.